All right, so I got this idea from this book that the library is throwing away. The library's always throwing away books. I'm always trying to save them. And it has this really cool visual of the Dome of the Rock. And then it has this transparency that you open up, and then it shows you the outside versus the inside. So I made that into the photocopy that we're gonna use. So I want you to cut out, so the Dome of the Rock is an octagon-shaped building. So I want you to cut out both of these visuals. The top one is showing you the inside, and the bottom one is showing you the outside. So we're gonna cut those out. All right, so you're gonna overlap the two. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna glue down the picture of the inside, and it can overlap another picture on the paper. So I'm going to glue down the inside. Try to get all this down here. And then you're gonna put the outside on top, but you wanna fold it so that you can open it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're gonna fold down half the side.
Yeah. Exactly. Whoop. So now we're going to glue these bits of information onto our notes instead of writing them. So the Dome of the Rock. Early in the Prophet Muhammad's preaching, he recognized Jerusalem, which was conquered by the Muslims in 638 as a holy city. Under the Umayyad Caliph, which is the ruler, Abd al-Malik, the Dome of the Rock was the first major Islamic monument to be built and symbolized Muslim triumph in Jerusalem. At its center was the holy rock from which Muhammad was said to have made his night journey. All right, so I'm going to glue that down, and then we'll talk about the night journey.
The weather was so nice.
Caleb, hang on. All right, the night journey. So one night, the Prophet Muhammad was awakened from sleep by the angel Gabriel. There's our friend Gabriel again. He came back. Gabriel took Muhammad on a winged horse to Mount Zion in Jerusalem. From here, Muhammad made an ascent into heaven, approaching the throne of Allah, which we know means God. He then returned to Mecca. During the night, Allah gave Muhammad the instructions about daily prayer and practice that have formed the basis of Muslim life ever since. So that's part of what makes this site so sacred, is this is where Muhammad made this night journey. So I'm going to add this context onto the notes. All right. So what we need to know is inside of the Dome of the Rock is the holy rock. So I would write right on that rock, right inside, underneath the dome. This is the rock where Abraham almost sacrificed his son Ishmael, and it's the site where Muhammad ascended into heaven, okay? Also the function, this is not, I don't know if you can read my awful handwriting, but this is not a mosque. So this is a site, a revered site, where Muhammad ascended into heaven for the night journey, and built to symbolize Muslim triumph in Jerusalem, and, oh man, I'm gonna circle that, site of pilgrimage, okay? This is a place. Okay, so here's all of your identifying information for the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. The Umayyad is the dynasty that this was made, and that's the first dynasty of the Muslim rulers. All right, overall, this marked the coming of the new religion to a city that was and still is sacred to both Jews and Christians. So there is a lot of controversy still to this day over this building and this monument. So additional significance to all three religions. I think I mentioned some of this already, but it's where Abraham offered Isaac. I think I said Ishmael earlier. It's where Abraham offered Isaac for sacrifice. That's why I was showing this Renaissance Florentine images about Abraham sacrificing his son Isaac, not Ishmael. It's also where Adam, the first man, is buried, and the place where Muhammad ascended to take his night journey. The exterior is all covered with glazed ceramic tiles. So that's a part of the form. It's a lot of greens and blues. Green is a traditional color of Islam, strong association with paradise, and blue in Middle Eastern is the Middle Eastern color of protection. But then you can see there's nothing figurative, right? It's a lot of calligraphy and floral designs. So religious art contains no figures, but uses tessellations. That's the repetition of geometric designs, calligraphy, and arabesques. So arabesque, it's a European term that that they came up with, which just means like floral repeating patterns. Hang on, here it is. Foliage, that's plants in calligraphic forms. That's what arabesque means. Think swirling, curvilinear lines in floral patterns. That is considered arabesque. All right, and then here's, like I said, a picture of the interior. So you can see it has, I think it's got 12 columns going all the way around and arches that go around the rock. And then this aisle, we've seen it before, it's called an ambulatory. The aisle for people to walk through, usually parallel with columns or colonnades. So here's your rock, and then here's your ambulatory going all the way around. So where have we seen the ambulatory before? You got it, San Vitale. Yeah, the Basilica of San Vitale in Ravenna, Italy was also an octagon, also has an ambulatory, and also has a dome in the center. The Pantheon was the first time we saw a round building with a dome. All right, there's also a large amount of cultural exchange at this time between Christians, Muslims, and Jews, and we're seeing Byzantine Christians doing the gold mosaics for the interior. So the inside of the dome and over the rock is covered in gold. That's Byzantine era, and they're not using any figures, nothing figurative. Okay, and here's again the gold from the Byzantine San Vitale Church in Ravenna, Italy. All right, on the top of the dome, you can draw this on your visual, on your notes, the finial. So something else had a finial. Oh, the Great Mosque of Janet had a finial, and that finial was an ostrich egg that represented fertility and purity. So the finial on top of the dome of the rock is a full moon, and if looked through, it aligns with the city of Mecca. Remember, Mecca is where the holiest shrine in Islam is located. I love these aerial views. And then here you can see the rock. And there you go.